If you're anything like me, you have been stuck in a slump before. You don't want to do anything, and maybe that's even why you clicked on this video. Right now, you're probably just rotting on the couch scrolling because you can't get yourself to move. And the worst part is that you feel like shit about it. You're in a bad mood, you know you should be doing stuff, but you physically can't, which makes you feel guilty for not being productive, and maybe even just a little bit annoyed at yourself for not being in a better mood. I call this the slump zone. And today I'm going to share the exact system that I built to break out of this vicious cycle and get moving again.
Flashback.
So, not gonna lie, I don't really feel that good today. So, I was thinking that maybe we could figure out together what can we do when we don't feel good and we seem to not want to do anything. What can we do to get out of this slump? Because I don't know about you, but when I feel like shit, not doing anything makes me feel even worse. The thing is, it's really hard to get out of this zone. And so today I thought that we should have a system to get out of this. We should not spend our day rotting away and feel even worse about ourselves. We should get a system up and running so that we know what to do when we're like this to get out of it. So the idea of wanting to create a system to get out of the slump is actually a really good idea. But let's be honest, it's not something you should do when you're low energy. If you don't have the system yet and you're in the slump, well, it's gonna be really hard to create the system while you're in this energy. So what I'm actually gonna do today is that I'm gonna chill in my pajamas, in my lover cardigan, and I'm just not gonna do anything. And then tomorrow, when I'm back up and ready to go, we will create the system to get out of the slump together. In the meantime, I'm just gonna go sit in my couch. When I'm in that place, I know one thing. This isn't the moment to build this system that I'm gonna show you. This is just survival mode.
One day later.
So when I'm in that place, I give myself permission to just do the bare minimum. Drink some water, take a shower, maybe just put on a clean hoodie, and that's it. Because the truth is that a slump is a vicious cycle. The less you do, the worse you feel. And the worse you feel, the less you do. So, what is the only way out? Well, it's the tiniest possible action. The first thing to do when you're in a slump is to ask yourself why. Why do you feel drained? What is actually going on? What are you procrastinating on? Usually, you know. Maybe you think you don't know, but deep down you know. The slump I was in the beginning of this video is actually because I am questioning currently my career choices and my business. Realizing that I was maybe not on the right path really slapped me in the face. You have to know that in general, I am really driven by my career. So feeling lost in this area of my life feels very uncomfortable for me. And this is exactly what has led me to this moment of I don't want to do anything. What's the fucking point anyway? When we're in a slump, we usually think that we're lazy, we lack motivation, we suck. But here's the thing. Emotions are not reality. Just because right now you feel down, you feel low, does not mean that you are lazy, that you are unmotivated, that you actually suck. You are simply experiencing an emotion. And guess what? Emotions are temporary, and also they're very normal and very human. And once you're able to see it that way, it gets a lot easier to not let the slump define you. And let me tell you that if you're waiting for mother motivation to come and save you, it's not happening. You do not need motivation to get out of a slump. You know why? Because motivation is also an emotion, and so it is unreliable. What you do need, though, is a system. Something ready for you when you're in that headspace. So you do not have to think about it. And what we're gonna do today is actually create that system that I call the dopamine menu. So dopamine is basically your brain's reward system. It's what makes you feel good when you check something off or finish a task. The problem is that when you're in a slump, your brain craves cheap, easy dopamine. For example, scrolling on TikTok for hours feels good in the moment because your brain craves novelty. Every swipe is like pulling a slot machine, but that's cheap dopamine. The goal with the dopamine menu is to replace those cheap hits of dopamine with real ones that actually help you get back on track. And I call it a menu because you get to choose. The goal here is to determine little quick actions that give you the same dopamine boost, but in a way that actually makes you feel better and helps rebuild that momentum. And we're actually going to categorize these actions into 3 folders based on the energy it takes to complete them. So low, medium, or high effort. Okay, so let's build my system together. Just keep in mind that it doesn't have to be fancy, okay? It has to work. That's the main thing. My advice for you when you're building systems, like any system, is to build it in a very simple way that works, okay? And then over time, you can make it look pretty or upgraded. But if the system doesn't work, well, it doesn't matter if your Notion page is aesthetic. We're building this for efficiency, not for looks. So I'm gonna build mine in Notion because that's my go-to. I am a Notion girly. But you can use like whatever. You can use your notes app, a piece of paper, anything you want. So the idea is very simple. You make a list of actions categorized by energy level. That way, no matter how drained or how energized you feel, there is always an option for you. So if you want to do like me and build your system in Notion, first you need to create a new page, and then we're going to give it a title, an icon, and a cover image. Okay, so now that it's done, we're going to start with phase 1, which is the journaling part. Because as I was saying, you have to understand why you're feeling this way to be able to then bounce back. Okay, so we're going to start with some journaling prompts to understand why you're in a slump right now, because this is the first part. It is essential to be able to bounce back later on. So I've already prepared some prompts, so I'm just going to copy paste them so that we're not wasting any time. And so then we're going to move on to create the actual dopamine menu. So first of all, I want you to make a list of all the things that make you feel good. No matter the price, the order, whatever, just make a big list of all the things that make you feel good, that make you happy. I'm just gonna speed this process on the screen because it's gonna take a while, but I'm just gonna complete that list with my actions that make me happy. So I've basically listed all the things that make me feel good, make me feel better about myself when I do them. So now that we have this big list of things, we're gonna create 3 columns to then categorize each activity into low effort, medium effort, or high effort. So once my 3 columns are created, I'm just gonna drag and slide one activity into each column that it belongs to. This is very subjective. Maybe you think that, I don't know, going for a walk is very low effort, and for some people it's going to be very high effort. So there's no right or wrong answers here. Okay, so now I have my 3 columns all filled up, and we can delete that first title, the first column we made. We don't need it anymore. If you want to take it a step further, you can then give a reward node to each activity. So then when you pick and choose from this menu, you can pick an activity based on your energy level and also based on the reward it's going to give you. I'm not going to do it for all of my activities, but I'm going to show you how I would do it. Honestly, I would just rate with stars. So for instance, going to the gym, it's very high effort for me. But it would be very high reward because I know that when I'm done with the gym session, I feel really good about myself and I'm ready to take on the day. But it is really high effort. So I'm gonna rate it 3 stars out of 3. So I know that going to the gym is gonna take a lot of efforts for me. But if I do it, then I'm gonna get the biggest reward. Whereas, for example, drinking water is very low effort, but the reward is not that great. So I'm gonna give it 1 star. So I know that if I drink some water, it's gonna make me feel better a little bit, but just a little bit. Then you can definitely combine low effort activities together. So if they have very low reward as well, for example, drinking water, listening to a playlist, and cleaning the countertops, if they're all 1 star out of 3, but I do all 3 of them, then I'm probably gonna feel better than if I did only 1. So that's it for the dopamine menu system. It's really not that hard. So I'm not saying the template looks great. I'm not saying the page is very aesthetic, but this is all you need to do for it to work. I'm gonna make it a little bit more aesthetic and I'll put up a screenshot so that you can see what we can do with it. But it's really not your main focus. Made the template a little bit aesthetic. Here's how it looks like. It's still very simple. All I added was some colors and I made the page larger. And I created this button here. So now when you're feeling down, when you're in a slump, you can just click it and then it pops up with the journaling questions and you have the date that is relative to the day you click. So then you can answer the questions and when you're done, you choose your energy level And then you scroll and you have all the activities. So if you click on medium level, then you know you need to choose in this category. And this is just very simple Notion basic stuff. If you want a more Notion detailed video, let me know in the comments. But this is just a way to make it a little bit more fun, but not complicated. Because again, we're looking for efficiency. So now that you have this system, depending on your energy level during your slump, you can pick something from the low, medium, or high effort folder. The good thing with this system is that it takes away all the overthinking. No more what should I do now paralysis. It's already decided thanks to your system. When you're in the slump, just slide over to the column that matches your energy, pick something from that list, and just do it. It's simple, it's visual, and honestly, it does kind of feel like magic when you're in a slump. And if you ask me, the best part is that you set it up once and then you're good to go. The point isn't to do it all. The point is to always have a menu of choices so that you never get stuck. And here's what I realized. You are literally one decision away from changing the rest of your day. That's it. Action breaks the slump way faster than waiting for motivation ever will. So the next time you're in a slump, just remember, you don't need to do everything. You just need to do one thing. It is that first action that will break the cycle, and momentum will do the rest. Do not wait, please, for the love of God, do not wait for motivation to kick in. Motivation is cute, don't get me wrong, but she's not here to stay. What's actually gonna save you is the systems that you build. Systems keep you consistent, even when life gets messy. This is why having your own dopamine menu is way more powerful than waiting for the perfect mood to hit. Build your own dopamine menu. Keep it simple, and I promise that it will totally change the way you bounce back. If you try this, please let me know in the comments down below what is on your menu. I would love to be able to steal some of your actions. And if you want more real, practical tools to build your dream life, you can subscribe to my channel. I hope this video helped you get out of your slump, and in the meantime, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!